Hey dearies! It's been some time since my last video, which was unintentional. As I've talked about before, I constantly struggle with my emotional and mental health, and oftentimes I have to take a step back from creating to give myself a moment of stillness. I highly recommend that you follow me on Instagram if you are interested in keeping up with me. I try to update on my stories on Instagram as often as possible. When I've taken too long a break, I also write a quick blog update on my website, just to be sure that I stay connected with my audience. I have yet to properly use YouTube to its full extent, to be honest, and that's because I don't spend enough time on the site. I do watch other YouTubers, but that's it, I just watch. But I do intend to learn the platform more. Today we are going to take some time to just be in the moment. For this video though, in the style of Kerouac, spontaneous prose, or as close to it as possible, I will just dive into the general topic of how my first day of Mermay went. And that's quote-unquote first day. So for Mermay this year, I decided I was only going to do a few pieces. And few meaning somewhere around 9 pieces like I did last year. I don't like to tackle the art challenges thinking that I'm gonna do the 31 days because that stresses me out, and when I get stressed out I just kind of shut down, and that shutting down makes me very unproductive and I end up not doing anything at all. I don't draw, I don't write, and I find myself sitting in front of the TV, watching and trying to get inspired that way, trying to motivate myself. But honestly, the TV just sucks you in, and you don't get the exact purpose or thing that you want from it, especially when it comes to giving you motivation. Instead, it just kind of tells you, keep sitting down, keep watching, eat, drink, and then watch again. And I would get into that cycle. Obviously, it's different for everybody else, but that's how it is for me. It's difficult to find inspiration watching TV. Now it's different when I'm watching like YouTube and other creators, or I'm watching like animation, I'm listening to podcasts, music, things like that. Those really pump me to create, whereas regular TV shows, they don't really push me in a sense. I mean, there's some exceptions. There are some really great written shows out there, but then there's like the dumb ones where you just your brain doesn't do anything and it's just for fun and leisure, and it's like a guilty pleasure, right? So I'm getting like I said, Kerouac style, just kind of run off with your thought. But going back into Mermay, I wanted to be able to create whatever I wanted to create without pushing myself and stressing myself out. For this year, I actually created a Mermay board on Pinterest where I collected photographs of like sea creatures and color palettes and just photographs in general where I loved the color palette. And I use that board as kind of like a mood board, but also a reference board because I had sea creatures in there that I wanted to draw. Especially for this first Mermay, I found this picture of a jellyfish. I have no idea what it's called. I didn't even bother to look it up. I just really liked the color. I liked how it looked. And it was a pretty interesting jellyfish because I've never seen it before. I've never seen a jellyfish of that kind before. And so I really wanted to do that. Decided that I would do that for my first day, and I was really pumped up, got so excited about it. And then I guess consequently I hyped myself up so much that it tired me out. But also, prior to May 1, I was doing a lot of things. I was spring cleaning the house. I was doing other work, sleeping at 2 a.m. I'm not sick, I'm just sniffing from dust allergy. And basically, I was running my body to the bone and tiring myself out so much so that I got sick. So come May 1st, I'm doing my first Mermay, and this electrical, I guess, surge ran across the top of my head, and I just felt like an electronic device shutting down. And I would have this migraine constantly surging across my mind, I guess, my brain, and it would mess me up. It made me feel really tired and irritated, and I was getting frustrated at the headache and not being able to focus on my work. And basically what I'm trying to say is, again, I got sick. So by the time that I got halfway, not even halfway, like 1/3 of the way of this drawing, I shut down. I told myself I wasn't gonna work anymore. I'm so tired. I felt like I was gonna collapse. And at one point during that day of May 1, I actually felt vertigo just sitting down, and my eyes were getting blurry. And the night prior, I remember waking up in the middle of the night and my eyes just not wanting to adjust to anything, to the dark, to the light, and it just kind of wanted to not be open. And I've had this feeling before. Back in 2012, I had just started art school, and I was brought into this environment where bright computer lights flashing in your face and you're in a dark room. And that was a constant environment for me, so much so that it actually messed with my eyes, and I ended up needing to wear glasses. And that's the story how I got my glasses. But like I remember that happening, and remembering that time in my life and how I was back then. And so I just decided I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna take a rest, and I'm going to focus on me. And so that's what I did. I put this piece in the back burner, and it just sat there for days and days. And then, like, instead of actually resting, I ended up doing some other stuff. But I did end up at least not overworking my brain into thinking about this piece and perfecting it as much as possible. And I was able to just sit back and kind of put myself in perspective. And that was a good thing that I did that, because I think had I continued to draw this painting on that same day and whipping it out, I wouldn't have appreciated it as much, just because I was in that mindset of doing it for the art challenge rather than doing it for myself. I ended up picking this art back up May 6th. I continued the color bases and adding that in, and I did a little bit of shading I created the line art for it officially. Well, I don't want to say officially. I created the line art of the background. I created the line art, and then I added more line art to it to complete the coloring page. Wow, it took a couple tries to get that out, but I think this journey really helped me realize that I've been in this cycle of being depressed and kind of pushing myself to get better so that I could work, rather than really looking into the root of my problem and figuring out how I could stop or prevent or better remedy the situation. Of course, I still failed at doing that this time around, but I want to be able to remember this time for the next time. And that's usually the case, with your self journeys, is that you are constantly learning all the time and how you're improving your health and the methods that you personally use. For me, it's kind of an on and off situation where sometimes I know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to help myself get out of this depressed mode. But sometimes it's kind of like I'm drowning, I don't know what to do. And so because I'm in that situation, I just want to quit what I'm doing, quit everything, and lay back down on the bed and not wake up. That's something that I will often, well, not often, that's something that happens to me. Like, I'm not telling myself to do that, it just happens. And like when that time comes for me, I know exactly, like, okay, something's wrong, but I don't know what's wrong. I need someone else to help me out, figure that out. And usually I have my support system. That's something that I've built over the last 4 years. 5 years, maybe, probably. I think it's been just over 5 years. No, over 4 years, since I realized that I was depressed and accepted that I was depressed and started this self-healing journey that I'm in. And yeah, so I have a support system that I go to and that help me out when I'm stuck somewhere. And oftentimes it'll just be me venting, and through that way I'm able to figure out by myself that, okay, this is where the problem is. Now what do I do? This time around, because I did get physically sick as well as mentally imbalanced, I ended up being so confused as to what to do, and I felt that I needed to validate the rest that I was trying to take. And so I ended up going to my siblings and talking to them about it and telling them, I'm sick. I don't want to be at risk of, what's happening right now. And this sickness has nothing to do with it, but I didn't want my immune system to be compromised just in case. And so I went to them and they told me, yeah, you should rest, you should take some time off, and try to catch some sleep. Because honestly, for me, catching sleep doesn't mean I get 8 hours of sleep. It means that I'm getting good hours of sleep. It doesn't have to be 8 hours. It can be 2 hours, 4 hours, or so on. But I I don't get enough of good sleep, because oftentimes I'll be, like in my last video, not my last video, but in a video before, I've talked about vivid dreaming and how that sometimes prevents me from having the rest that I need, because my mind is still running, my mind is still active, and I needed actual rest, actual stillness, and that's really what I got. Like, even though I didn't sleep early all the days before I jumped back into my Mermay piece, I was able to just quiet down my active brain and get away from all that stress and all that need to be at constant work, at always having to be productive, because like that is quite toxic. And obviously this video isn't about how you shouldn't push yourself to your limits, like over your limit to the point that you can't function anymore. That's not what this is about. This is just about me running around my head, my brain, and like talking about whatever pops up in my head. And yeah, this artist vlog is not what I expected it to be, but I thought it was a good reflection of what I'm trying to get at, I guess, about things not having to be perfect, and that you don't always have to have something structured, and not every video has to be an essay. Something can just be a continuous rambling, and I have no idea how to end this dialogue that I'm doing. I truly enjoyed doing this piece though, and I'm not quite sure that I love how it turned out. I'm kind of on and off with it, like, yeah, I love it right now, but then later on I look at it and I'm like, I hate it, and then I look at it again and I'm like, yeah, I like that. But anyway, like I said, I have no idea how to end this, so I'm just gonna end it right here. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. I do a lot of this on my blog. If you read, I recommend it. I recommend my blog. I take a lot of time writing. I love writing. It's one of the things that has really helped me throughout my depression, and something that I enjoyed doing while I was in art school. I know, writing art in art school. Like, okay, that's a different story. I'm just not gonna get into that. But yeah, I love writing, and my blog has been one of the things that I really love to do, and I hope that you guys, I guess not switch, but like hop on to my website every now and again, because I am talking a lot there. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I hope you did as well. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and hit that bell notification. I do not have a schedule as of right now. I really should get down on that, because that makes for stable audience interaction and whatever thing. And yeah, wow, I'm really bad at ad-lib. That's something that I don't do quite often enough. And I don't see myself doing this for the other artist vlogs, but maybe at a different time, or maybe I will do something like this later in later vlogs. I call this a vlog, but like, I don't really show myself, but that's why I also add the artist vlog, because this is definitely more prose and like poetic type, rather than your typical vlog. Not that there's nothing's wrong with a typical vlog. I watch a lot of vlogs, I enjoy those. I live vicariously through other people's vlogs, but I don't do that. I can't film myself that way. I feel awkward. But yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next Mermay. Or if you're watching this way past Mermay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!